Hello, good afternoon, everybody. So I'm Richard Burkingshaw, and I'm based in Burkingshaw in West Yorkshire, and I'm the Open Farm Sunday Regional Coordinator for the whole of the north of England. That's through Yorkshire, Lancashire, Cumbria, right up into Durham, Tyneham, Wear, and Northumberland. I visited many Open Farm Sundays before. I helped a national sponsor organise many Open Farm Sundays, and I've worked as a volunteer on many as well. So welcome all, and I hope as first-time Open Farm Sunday participants, I can encourage you into what is a very worthwhile exercise. So thank you very much to Matthew and to Izzy. Two very different Open Farm Sunday events, but two very successful ones. I think that's the first message to highlight, is that each Open Farm Sunday event is unique. And that's very much up to you, depending on the size of the event you feel comfortable in hosting, the layout of your farm, the resources you have, and the message you want to give to the public. Whether it's, a fun community event such as Matthew's, or whether it's focusing very much on the environment, as was Izzy's. The first step really is to decide how many visitors you want. And first of all, I'd like to reassure you that this is very much in your control. You could start very small, as Izzy did, working with local organisations, or even having a personal invitation list where you invite people perhaps to a farm walk or a small event on your farm. Or alternatively, you can do more publicity and advertising, and spread the word, and hope to invite a larger number of people. But it's very much up to you. And in fact, there is a forthcoming webinar about publicity, which is designed to help you in some of those decisions as to how to communicate and how to manage the number of visitors and how many people come onto your farm. But in any case, good planning is always essential. And the tips there really are to get a group together. Don't try to do everything yourself, but do allocate responsibilities. Try and have one individual in the lead. Do start early, do review often. And in fact, the second webinar in this series was very much about the organisation of events. And you may want to go back and watch that recording again, or see it if you didn't catch it the first time, as it had some very good tips as to how to plan your event. Start early. Why not start now? Also, take advice from experienced host farmers. I think we'd all agree that the tips from Matthew and Izzy today have been very, very valuable. Many different points to take into account. But do remember, there are many, many hundreds, in fact thousands of farmers who've done Open Farm Sunday before. And a lot of their experience is recorded on the Open Farm Sunday website, where you can go and look for case studies, you can look for tips. There is, of course, the handbook, which you get issued after registering. There are many case studies, and if you need, you can always get in contact with us, whether it's your regional coordinator or the LEAF office. It's what we are there for, and all our phone numbers and contact details are also on the website. Do collaborate. Do book helpers early. Think about the people, perhaps your neighbours, your farming neighbours, maybe your suppliers, your feed supplier, your vet. Maybe in your community you have scouts, cubs, women's institute, churches, organisations. Why not invite them to come and participate in Open Farm Sunday with you? You'd be amazed how many people love to come and volunteer for these kind of events, because it is, speaking from personal experience, very, very rewarding actually helping somebody run Open Farm Sunday. But book people's diaries, make sure they keep their day free, double check in good time before the event just to make sure that they are going to turn up. And when they do come, yes, offer them responsibilities, perhaps let them have a choice as to whether they'd rather do A or B. But do look after them. Make sure they get time for a drink. Make sure they get something to eat. Make it a good day out for them as well. And you'll be surprised how much they enjoy helping you. And after all, you may want them back for a second or third or fourth year for Open Farm Sunday. So it's good to think ahead and see what your volunteers are good at, what they like doing, and perhaps build a team up not just for your first year, but on an ongoing basis. On the next slide, I'd like to point out that one particular tool which is very useful, again available from the Farm Sunday website, is the Open Farm Sunday checklist. It's simple, it's clear, it helps you cover all the essentials, and in my experience it works every time to help you organize a successful Open Farm Sunday. Most of all, when you're thinking about your event itself, try and imagine, try and visualize what the day is going to be like. There's some things you can't control, like the weather, so make sure you have plenty of wet weather alternatives like a barn or somewhere under cover that people can go. But do think what people might be doing, where they might be taking photographs, what they might find interesting, like meeting animals or large farm machinery, or actually going on a walk and seeing what happens in the hedgerows and the ditches, or even seeing what happens in a square metre or in a spade depth of soil, what goes on underneath a square metre producing a loaf of bread, and how many worms are involved in there. Think about those specific things that people are going to see and people are going to remember, and people are going to photograph and take home and tell their friends and neighbours what a good day out they've had. Do have plenty of things for people to do. You can't talk to everybody on the day because it's inevitable you'll have big clusters of visitors all arrive at once. So do plan for things like walks, quizzes, plenty of things for people to see and to do. You'll see in the bottom right-hand corner of the slide, well, that's a picture of me with my straw hat on. That was a sunny Open Farm Sunday. And we have a little grain mill set up there on a table. And the kids are taking turns to mill grain into flour. And they're actually seeing, many for the first time, how not just grains are grown, but how they're transformed into flour, and then we sieved out the flour and the bran. And they absolutely love that hands-on experience. So things like that, where people can touch and feel and experience something new for the first time, really create those memories that people then take home and remember, well, hopefully for next year, but also remember for a lifetime. Do prepare as much as you can. May seem a long time until June the 11th now, but there's loads to do. Start early. Make sure you perhaps use that checklist, do your risk assessment, sort out your insurance. Usually it's free, but you do have to tell your insurer. Think about where your people need to go. Perhaps start making your signs as to where people arrive, how you welcome them. Just simple things like, where are the toilets? Just imagine you are the visitor coming to your farm for the first time. Think about how you can make it easy for people. Coming to your farm, you know it well, you know your way around. You also know what goes on, and it may seem normal and even mundane to you at times. But for new visitors, it's a whole new world, and you're going to be able to enlighten them by seeing something very special that they don't normally see in their daily lives. So try and make it easy, safe, and above all, keep it simple. You don't have to do everything, particularly on a first-year Open Farm Sunday. You can always do a second or a third and add something else in the second and the third year, or change something for something else. Decide what you want to do, but also decide what you don't want to do. Keep it simple, keep it easy for yourself, make it a successful day. And above all, don't worry, because you're not alone. Many hundreds or thousands of farmers have been first-time Open Farm Sunday farmers before, and they've all had successful events, and they've all gone away with the pride of sharing their story from their farm to hundreds of thousands of members of public who've had a great day out and taken away a very, very favourable impression of farmers, farming and the countryside. Good luck with your venture, and for the north of England, I'm available to help you. Look forward to